Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and Games Workshop is actually listening. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. The End and the Death Volume 3 Special Edition is returning to sale. So before we jump into this actual article, I get criticized a lot for being overly critical of Games Workshop, and people tell me that they're unsubscribing and all I do is sell like fear and clickbait. I also get accused of like completely simping for Games Workshop and told that all I do is talk about how great they are. And the truth is, I actually live somewhere in between. When Games Workshop does something good, I talk about it and I commend them for it, give them a pat on the back and tell them how great a job they did. And we all know they're listening. And when they do something wrong, I do the exact opposite. I criticize them and I say exactly why. And also, not only do I do that on this channel publicly, but I actually call them up and talk to their management and have literally spent hours on the phone behind the scenes discussing some of the issues that they have with the community and helping to provide actual solutions so that they might change. And I know for a lot of people, this is in vain and Games Workshop is some big corporation and they're evil. And for other people, they can do no wrong. And if you can't afford the hobby, you should just go play with plastic army men or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, we have actual proof right now that it works, that they really do listen. And I've seen it over the last couple of years that they really are attempting to change their image. So that being said, let's jump into this article and see how the community banded together once again. We actually put in some effort and Games Workshop has made a change based on it. Earlier this month, The End and the Death Volume 3, the epic climax to the Siege of Terra series, came to pre-order, and the Emperor finally confronted his traitorous son Horus. As is often the case with the Mark A releases from Black Library, the regular hardback edition was released alongside a spiffy new special edition, sporting a majestic leather effect cover with gold foil lettering and metal details, plus author Dan Abnett's signature on its title page. With just 2,500 copies available, we expected exceptional demand and set a limit of one per customer on the web store to keep things fair and give as many fans as possible the chance to complete their collections. Unfortunately, we saw an influx of people trying to purchase multiple copies, some aiming to make a resale profit, underhanded tactics worthy of Erebus himself. So Games Workshop basically setting the table here and discussing some of the exact issues that some of us behind the scenes spent hours on the phone discussing with them and coming up with potential solutions. So let's see how they actually address it. And if you're not familiar, this is The End and the Death Volume 3, which is like the final book in a long series that many people have been spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars collecting over years. We are committed to selling only one per customer, so we have rejected any orders where a purchaser has tried to get more than one copy. Our tech servants aren't revealing their methods, but needless to say, they are not to be trifled with. This has left us with extra stock, and the books will be going back on sale at 1600 GMT on Wednesday the 24th of January on warhammer.com. The store will go live at the same time in all locations. See the graphic below for details. There will be a queue in place once again. Alright, so here we have the available to order Wednesday the 24th of January at 4 p.m. GMT. So this is on Wednesday, today is Monday. Los Angeles, USA, Wednesday the 24th at 8 a.m. PST. New York, USA, Wednesday the 24th, 11 a.m. EST. London, UK, Wednesday the 24th, 4 p.m. GMT. Berlin, Germany, Wednesday the 24th, 5 p.m. CET. Tokyo, Japan, Thursday the 25th, 1 a.m. JST. And Sydney, Australia, Thursday the 25th, 3 a.m. AEDT. So this has addressed many issues, and many of those issues have been pointed out by us, and obviously we have provided some solutions, and Games Workshop has taken many of the measures that we have discussed with them. So some of the important changes. One, they fixed the queue system. So we had discussed how there was issues with the queue system, how people were able to, one, log in on multiple devices and get a place in the queue. Two, how once they jumped into the queue, they actually were just waiting and they didn't boot everyone out that was already waiting in the queue once the sales went live. So this caused issues because people were able to like time out the queue like an hour in advance and then actually get placed into the web store and just be sitting in there waiting. And then as soon as the pre-orders went live, they were able to immediately purchase. So they essentially jumped their place in the queue, which defeated the whole point. So it was very important that when the actual queue goes live, that's fine. Everybody's sitting there waiting. But when the actual release goes live, you have to kick everyone out of the store and then give everyone a new place in the queue with a new timer so that it's actually randomized and actually fair. And then on top of that, part of the issue was as well, people are using like various things such as VPNs and different shipping addresses in different countries to basically get in the store in the UK, buy some of their books, take their spot in line, attempt to make their purchase, and then they would move to the Europe release, and then they would do the exact same thing again because they would go live at different times, and then finally they would move to the US release and do it once again. So many people are not only abusing the queue in various ways in their own time zone, but they were also doing it in one time zone, then jumping to the next, then jumping to the next. So they were basically getting 3 shots to abuse the queue system, 3 shots to get the pre-releases they want, and there was nothing really restricting them from doing this. So Games Workshop appears to have addressed all of these issues. So now, rather than having the advantage of jumping in the UK store trying to get one, then jumping in the EU trying to get one, and then jumping in the US and trying to get one, in many cases those same people getting many of them, now all the pre-orders are going to go live at the exact same time, so everybody's going to have an equal opportunity to get a hold of them, and then Games Workshop is going to ship them wherever they belong. So sure, maybe it takes a little bit longer because they're not going to know exactly how many are going to sell in each region, because normally of those 2,500, say they would keep 750 in the UK and then 750 for the USA, and then 1,000 would go to Europe, or however they would divide it up. Now there's not going to be specific allocations for specific time zones. And obviously those aren't just the 3 territories. There's also like Australia and Tokyo and some of these other ones as well. But I'm just using those as a specific example and talking about like the 3 most common issues and larger portions of their sales. So that being said, it looks like Games Workshop has basically done all of those things. We saw the queue system functioning much better this Saturday, and that was the implementation of all of the new changes to the actual queue. And then now we see Games Workshop is relaunching these after cutting off the people that purchased multiples of these, another form of breaking the rules, and now they're going to reissue those items. Now, I don't know if people are still going to be able to get a hold of them. If you bought from a reseller who doesn't physically have the book in their hands, which no one should, your sale may get canceled. So you should definitely consider the possibility that you should at least try to buy one here if you're really after one. Because even if someone has a confirmed order, I don't know exactly when Games Workshop canceled those orders. I don't know exactly how they notified them, etc. But the fact of the matter is, I think this is a great sign from Games Workshop. You know, oftentimes we vilify them, talk about them as this big billion-dollar corporation who doesn't care about anything. But the fact of the matter is, the people have spoken and Games Workshop has listened. They've addressed the issues with the queue. They've addressed the issues with people buying multiple copies and scalpers online. And theoretically, they've at least fixed it or gotten closer to fixing it. I don't know if it's going to be perfect. I don't know if you're going to be able to get one, or I'm going to be able to get one, or how that's going to work exactly. I don't know exactly what portion of the 2,500 are going to be available. Maybe it's only 100 copies. Maybe it's 1,500 copies. But the fact of the matter is, it's nice to see Games Workshop actually making an effort, actually listening. And it really shows that spending the time and effort makes a difference. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. Many of us emailed Games Workshop, spoke with them on the phone, discussed specifically with management some of these issues and some potential solutions. And to see how they've made these changes, and now they're re-offering these books and potentially correcting, or at least doing the best that they can to correct the issue, really says something about them as a company, as a corporation. So like I said, I'm the first to criticize Games Workshop when there's an issue, but I'm also the first to pat them on the back when they do something right. And in my opinion, they've made some serious changes to make an effort to listen to the community and do what they can to fix the issue, not only going forward, but retroactively as well. So very, very cool on Games Workshop's part. Definitely happy to see this. Make sure you check your times. If you're after one of these books, you get one last opportunity to get one. And hopefully everybody that wants one will be able to get a hold of one. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. I think it's absolutely awesome. Touche to Games Workshop for actually listening and making the change that we've requested from them. Not only in the future going forward, but also like retroactively. Very, very cool. Touche Games Workshop. So special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring this video. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man. And for all the people that have left comments every time I said that I was contacting Games Workshop to speak with them about an issue, all the negativity about why bother, they don't care, etc. Well, this is why we put in the effort. Because if you actually voice your concerns, it gives the company an opportunity to correct the issues going forward. And I'm out of here.